Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with True Motion, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-hosts. We have a couple of different ones in the dojo. We have a repeat offender and my mother. She's back on the show, and we're followed by her sister.
Yes.
My Aunt Nancy from the great state of Arizona right now. So, Nancy, why don't you introduce yourself, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you out here to see us in the cold white north of Utah?
Well, thank you, Mark. My name is Nancy Lombroso. I'm the younger sister of Susan, and I'm from Arizona. And I came out to see my sister for about a week and getting away from the hot temperatures of Phoenix. We were in the 90s and coming into Salt Lake, 40s, 50s. Yes, it was cold. So it's really a nice change. And to see the snow already starting. So,
it snowed up in the mountains, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It sure did.
No, I remember you came in on Monday, and when I picked you up, you were all bundled up in a jacket and gloves, and
I thought I was dressed for the cold, but no, I needed to get a little more layers on.
You can always tell when people come from out of town and from warmer climates coming into Utah during the fall, because people from Utah, they're like, oh, it's a break from the heat. This is so nice. But yet then people from hotter climates are like, oh, my God, this is like the frigid white north up here.
That's the truth.
Like, how do you stand it?
I know.
It's like, oh, well, it was funny because Stephen and I earlier in the week were talking about how I always thought it was funny going to California in December for like old karate tournaments. And I was always dressed in like flip-flops and shorts and a t-shirt. And you get off the plane and it's sunny and in the 50s and you got people in like winter coats working at the airport, and you're just all like, what is wrong with the... But at the same time, it's like, that's what you're used to. And when you're used to like 70 and sunny all the time, anything other than that is like frigid. It's even worse for people in Arizona. Like you said, 90 degrees in late October.
That's right.
No, thank you.
It's unusual, though. This is...
How cold does it get in Arizona?
Oh, yeah, in the 50s.
Really? Okay, so it can get a little chilly.
But at night, it can get pretty low.
Yeah, the desert can get
low
sub-zero.
40s.
Yeah.
You can get cold.
Okay. But yeah, we always love having you out here while you're here. I got a couple of just questions for you. Like, I kind of know, but also I don't really know. Like, when did you meet Gilad? And you met him in Israel, right?
That's right, Mark. It was 1980. I was on a tour group through Egypt, Jordan, and then Israel. And it was, I would say, our second day in Israel, and we were in Jerusalem. And we had an Arab tour guide prior to that. And then when we were loading the bus, I noticed that our tour guide was different. And he turned around and he was greeting each person. And he asked me what I had in the box. And I had bought a nativity scene carved out in olive wood. And I always thought, oh my gosh, she's flirting with me. And so we are now on our 41st anniversary.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I always asked him, to test him, what was the first thing you ever asked me? And he would forget. But I just found out just 2 years ago, he had to ask me to be sure there was no bomb or something in it. And I said, are you kidding me? I thought you were flirting. So I don't ask him that anymore. Needless
as
to
far
say.
as you know, he was flirting. That's all we need to worry
I could
about.
keep that. So, but that's how we met.
Okay.
And we kept in touch for a year, and then he came out to California and visited in 1981 and met my family. And then he went back, and then 1982, I was going out there to meet his family. But first I went to Finland and stayed 3 weeks with my dear friend and Finnish sister for my sister Susan and I. And then I was going on over to Israel. But Gilad called and said there was a lot of tension in Lebanon, and he was called into the army to not come. So I never made it there to Israel in 82.
Oh.
Instead, I stayed another 3 weeks in Finland. And then 1983, we got married.
When did you meet Gilad's family for the first time during the wedding, or did you get a chance to meet him before that?
No, it was after the wedding.
Okay.
The wedding was at my parents' home in their yard, a garden wedding. And we were very lucky that his brother Zvi, older brother Zvi, and his wife and 2 daughters were traveling California. So they were there at our wedding.
Oh, okay.
And that was just really, really nice.
Yeah.
But then we went to Israel as a married couple in the spring for Passover.
Okay.
And that's when I got to meet his clan of family.
Yeah.
And it was quite fun.
How much of a cultural shock was it? Because we talked about when my parents were on the show, how much of a culture shock it was for her to go from Southern California to very Latin predominantly based Miami, and obviously a Latin family. Now you're going from the United States to Israel and meeting their family for the first time. Was it a real big kind of shock? Probably not, because you had been to Israel before.
Well,
so you kind of knew a little bit of the customs.
But Mark, with this visit, it wasn't sightseeing or any different places. It was actually living with the Jewish people, and they just made me feel very welcome. I just felt like I knew them forever. Ima and Abba were just the most loving in-laws that I could ever have imagined.
And that's when you could just not that you needed reassurance that you made the right decision, but when his family is so welcoming of you, especially being a quote-unquote outsider, that's when you get the true character of a family. Is how well do they welcome somebody that's not quote-unquote within their realm of who they know.
Oh, right.
I mean, because they could have easily just been nasty to you, and because you're a foreigner,
very distant. They could have made me not be a part of them, but they did. It was just so open arms, and celebrating Passover for the first time as a Gentile. It was really interesting. It was all in Hebrew, and they were reading from their Bible scriptures, and they were just passing it across the table, and after each scripture you would have a sip of wine. Well, I would have to say my father-in-law was really watching me, because I was getting a little tipsy. We hadn't eaten.
We got too many scriptures here, buddy.
I thought, this is an awful lot of wine before having some food. But
that's when you start doing the dipping it behind your head as you drink.
That's right. But I tell you, it was wonderful, because would sing. They would even stand up and dance, and it was quite a festival. I really enjoyed that.
And that's something that most people will never have an opportunity to experience, just because, well, one, they may not be Jewish, but not only that, but like most, if you're not in Israel, you don't get, like, I call it the authentic. I mean, because you're like actually in the Holy Land.
Right.
Like that was probably a pretty neat experience to have, and just to see it firsthand in that house.
Well, that's right, Mark. But not only that, going out and meeting his friends, even neighbors, everybody was on their little back porch, and we're talking 6-story layered housing, flats they call them. People would be talking back and forth to their neighbors out on their patio, and there was just something very true that they were with people, and they lived that day to its fullest. Where as American, I really realized how I took so much of that for granted. Where they are always on guard and not knowing what to expect, but at the same time they have so much peace and joy that they share amongst each other.
That's really neat. I hope we as Americans can get to that point again where we don't take things for granted.
That's so true, because we have so much to appreciate.
Oh, absolutely. We have it so good here that we don't have to worry about the threat of somebody like bombing us. Like us in the United States, we don't have to worry about Arizona deciding to have an uprising and taking out Utah. Exactly. Right. Or like we don't worry about like where our next meal is going to come from, or like, hey, how are we going to get groceries for the week? Well, most of us. I mean, I know there are unfortunate parts of the country that can't always say that, and that makes me sad, because here in the United States, like, nobody should ever have to feel that way. We're such the land of abundance and hope, in my opinion, that anybody can do anything if they're willing to put the work in for it.
Well, absolutely. And for Israel to be such a young state, Gilad's family is one of the first immigrants when it became a state. So he was born in his siblings in Alexandria, Egypt.
Okay.
And then they moved to Israel in 1949. And that's when a lot of Jewish people were migrating to Israel. And we're talking highly educated PhD in all different fields. And yet there was not the work, and everybody living on a kibbutz and farming and having their job and living with a community like that. It was really different, and many of them never regained that wealth that they left from the other countries that they lived.
Because you were telling me earlier that Gilad's father was a PhD.
Yes, in chemistry. Wow. And he was also a professor at the university in Alexandria. And so he was very educated, and he did have his own chemistry place eventually in Israel. But it really didn't take off, when the older generation Jewish people, they lost that opportunity to really build their business. So it was very, very difficult for the two of them.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that he had a PhD in chemistry, and now that makes sense why Johnny, your son, is way into chemistry also. It kind of follows the line.
That's true. And Johnny really finds his passion in that.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked a couple years ago in person. Man, you got him on that topic. Like, he talked for hours about it.
Yes.
He's very passionate about it, and I think that's fantastic. Did Gilad have any family members that were affected by the Holocaust?
Yes, Mark. The ones his father's family, they were in France. Gilad's family is from France, and his mother is from Spain. And
okay, interesting.
So even in Israel, they didn't speak Hebrew constantly. It was more French.
So he can speak French?
Gilad speaks French, Spanish, Portuguese, Hebrew, and then English.
I know he's very well versed linguistic wise.
Yes.
I wish I had. I mean, I can have that ability. I wish I had the drive to have that ability.
Well,
but when you're only surrounded by English speaking,
that's it.
It's hard to be like, well, I need to learn another language. Well, for what? Everybody you're around speaks English.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you look at the size of Israel, how tiny it is,
it's true.
And you have all of these Jewish people migrating there with their mother tongue, you do pick up their language.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I was thinking about that when you said they lived in Cairo. I know Germany invaded northern Africa. And if they ever had to deal with any of that stuff.
Well, his father was involved in something, but he really took it to his grave with the Jewish people there. And he was a spit pilot.
Okay, so he did serve in the conflict.
Yes, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Because he kept it very quiet and hush hush with the family.
Yeah, that tells me that he had gone through some stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've come to realize that with Grandpa Diaz. He was a lot more involved with things than we realized because he never talked about it. And we kind of got him to open up a couple of years ago about his service, I think because Shanna asked him. And he talked about some of the things he did, not in detail, but you realize that he did things that he's not proud of, but he did them because he knew he had to. And yeah, he still never talks about it. And we had always wondered why he'd always have flashlights everywhere. Because growing up as a kid, he had flashlights scattered, like it was within an arm's reach of wherever you were at in the house at all times. Or he had one on him at all times. He still does. He'll have a flashlight in his walker. And we always thought that, it's like, God, that's weird. Why does Grandpa have flashlights everywhere? And he would always say, because I remember asking him, like, Grandpa, why do you have flashlights everywhere? Like, the lights turn on. And he would always say that you never know because of hurricanes. He was always saying that it was a hurricane thing, because the power would go out during hurricanes. Well, I don't think it's that. He flew night raids in Korea. And we think that he had to do and see things during those night raids that make him go to a place he doesn't like to go. And that's why he doesn't like being in the dark, because he would have night lights everywhere too. Every hall had a nightlight. Every bedroom had a nightlight. It was never pitch black.
Even now.
It's still to this day. And he won't say that, but it's like, it's not hard to put the pieces together. So the fact that he would never talk about it leads me to speculate. Obviously, we don't know, but that he did some things that either scared him or he did them because he knew he had to. And, I commend his service for that, because they were fighting a great evil. There's no other way to put it. And
commend all those men and women.
Exactly. Exactly.
The men in Gilad's family and then ours, for the great sacrifice they made.
Exactly.
That's right, Susan.
So, yeah, that's wild. In fact, next time I head down there, or I talk to Gilad, I'd love to talk to him more about like his upbringing in Cairo and all that. So does he have dual citizenship?
He does.
Well, he's probably got 3 passports.
Well, he's wanting the 3rd, and that would have been in Italy. Why Italy, I have no idea. But that would have been the 3rd. But he has for Israel and the U.S.
So he doesn't have a Cairo citizenship?
No.
Okay, even though he was born there.
That's right. But I don't think he doesn't have the desire to.
I was going to say, I don't
travel
think
there as an Israeli.
Okay.
So
is there conflict between Egyptians and Israelis?
Not really, but Israelis know where
they can and can't go.
Yeah, and they're very cautious.
Interesting, because I thought he'd want to go back to like
his birthplace.
Yeah, his birthplace.
Yeah, he has no desire to go there. He was only 3 when he left.
So that's really not his home.
No.
Israel's more his home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe we'll try to drag his butt down here and we'll get him on the show.
Oh, that would be really fun.
So
I may even learn some things.
Yeah, I think that's our goal for 2025 is to get Gilad on the show.
All right. Sounds good.
Even if we have to like drag his butt down here. So I just remember he'd always call us a burro, you burro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd do the horn thing and he was always a kidder that way. I always remember be like, he talks funny, but now it's like that's just his accent.
Yeah.
So,
but how many years later, right?
Oh yeah.
Some things you never lose.
Yeah.
They're just part of it.
Exactly. He's lived in the United States longer than he's lived anywhere else, but he still has such a thick, heavy accent. It's crazy.
Well, I think that's because he still talks
he still converses
family
frequently
and friends in Israel a lot. So
yeah,
there are many times after he talks.
It's pretty thick. You're like, I don't know what you're saying.
Have to tell because he'll start talking to me in Hebrew, and I'll say, "English, please."
Be like, what? Yeah. In this long relationship, have I ever understood Hebrew, sir? Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he's a good guy. We like him a lot. And we talked about Johnny. Johnny's working on his master's degree in chemistry, right?
His master's, yes.
Nice.
Yes,
yeah. So hopefully you can get that done in the next few years. He's a very strong-willed kid. We love that guy too. Maybe we'll get him on.
Yeah.
I'd be like, normally I don't censor people. I'd be like, Johnny, you got to watch what you say, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, children listen to this show, buddy. But we love Johnny to death. So Johnny, when you listen to this, because I guarantee you'll listen to it when we air it, we love you. We wish you the best. And we can't wait to see you again. So, but that's kind of a little introduction to yourself. We talked a lot about them and Johnny, but like, is there anything you would like the audience to know about yourself? I mean, you were the head cheerleader in high school, right?
Oh gosh, that's way too long ago.
That doesn't matter. Head cheerleader. Where'd you go to school after you graduated? Did you go to Long Beach or?
No, I just went to El Camino for a couple of years, and then
you realized college is a fraud.
It wasn't my thing, so I just did a lot of working.
Yeah, I call that smart, but I get a lot of heat for that.
Yeah.
So we've had numerous discussions on this show about how education is important, but like I don't know if college is that important. Especially nowadays.
Well, I have to agree. You know, it's for some people, and it's not for others.
Yeah, and there's
that's
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, but like, I look at it from like a return on investment deal. It's like if you're going to invest $100,000, are you going to get that $100,000 back? Plus, because that's the point of an investment.
Exactly.
Is to make money. And I've got no problem people investing in themselves.
Uh-huh.
Not at all. But like the point of going to school is to help you get a better job to make money to provide for your family.
Exactly.
The point of going to school is not to get a degree that doesn't make you money just because you can seem educated.
That's right. That's right.
And that can apply for school, like college, university. That can apply for trade schooling. Like, we need to get back to the point of like people, and I think we are, but you look down on people that were like, went to like carpentry school or electrician school or plumbing school. They're like, that's just because they're not smart enough to go to college. No, that is incorrect. Like, it's just as hard to become a plumber as it is to get a bachelor's degree. They're two different things.
Definitely.
So, and we need people that are willing to work in that type of infrastructure industry. Not everybody's meant to be in this like executive high-rise job.
No.
And knowing that they both merit value and nobody's above anybody else.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, I could tell you a story that Shannon and I were having yesterday, but I'll tell you off air because I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
But moving on, we like to talk about the week and the weekly recap. Obviously, you two have had a fun week together because my dad has been in Alabama visiting his dad, who's 100 years old. We talked about him the other time, too.
Yeah.
So I finally convinced him to get out of his chair and be like, you need to go see your dad. And, well, what about Mom? I'm like, Mom will be taken care of. And then Nancy was like, hey, I'm coming on out. And we're like, great, Dad, you're going to Alabama.
Done deal.
So he went to Alabama on Saturday, last Saturday, and Nancy came in on Monday, and you guys have enjoyed a lot of time together. What's been some highlights for you from the week?
Oh, the highlights. Well, we got a pedicure.
Oh, that's always good.
You know, you never can go wrong there, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So we felt very pampered.
That's it.
Just the drives together have been really, really nice, particularly with me. But then to share it with Nancy makes it extra. And yeah, Nancy's been making the house very accessible for me. So that's been a fun job. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? How about this? You know, so it's been fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's been your highlights from the week, Nancy?
I just enjoying spending time with my sister. You know,
I wish you guys lived closer together.
Me too. So do I. But we've been going to thrift stores too. We really like looking at different treasures.
Yeah, you guys are thrift store junkies.
We are.
And I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole like one man's trash is another man's treasure deal.
That's right.
I think it's cool because you can find some pretty wild stuff in those thrift stores.
Actually, you can, and the way you repurpose them,
because you buy them and
become something else.
I was going to say it's like most of the time when you buy something, it's not for the original intent of what the object was for.
Exactly.
And Susan really has visions.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately
Exactly.
She sees something and she can repurpose that 2 or 3 different ways. So
it's funny because
it's great.
That will kind of lead into another question we have for our 3 questions. So I'm glad you brought that up. That was good. So if you're like, oh, well, I don't know, then we'll be like, oh, well, I think it's this. So, but yeah, no, I agree. She has that unique ability to like look at something and see it. And I'm just like, I just see a frame. Like, that's it. Like, so,
exactly, Mark.
Yeah. So, I'm really glad that you guys have had an opportunity to reconnect with each other. Because a lot of times when you come down, my dad is here too. So the fact that it's literally just you two, I think is probably even a little bit more special. Not that we don't want him around, but like,
but it's just
it's nice.
Energy.
It's nice to have like just some girl time.
Yeah. And
in fact, what night was it? I can't remember, but it was recently. We ordered pizza at 9:00 at night.
Yeah, that was on Monday.
Yeah. Ate pizza watching TV.
Yeah. You know, and when you get at this age, you don't eat after a certain hour, but we splurge.
The fact that you guys were so in tune on what you were doing, it's like time passed.
Absolutely.
And like, as much as I love my dad, but he will let you know when it's time to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll barge in and he'll stop whatever's going on. It's like, it's time to eat. What do you guys want to eat?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's another thing that Susan and I are able to do, even when she came out to Arizona, is we watch movies and then we have long conversations afterwards about the character, about where it was leading, and what moved us the most. And I always think that's kind of fun and important to
helps keep it mentally stimulated.
Well, yeah, and also helps us know who we are, and what moves us and what we value. So I've really enjoyed. Well, yesterday we did 3 movies back to back.
Yeah,
there
we
you
did.
Go. Well,
and,
and the honest truth is if Dad was here, there would be none of that movie time. He is the emperor of the TV, the king, the president, like whatever you want to call him. And I love him to death, and he's your typical guy. If it doesn't go boom or explode, it's like, I'm not into it. So, it's like again, typical guy. You ask him where a piece of clothing is, no idea. You ask him something about World War II, you got a 30-minute dissertation about
that's true.
that campaign or that piece of equipment or whatever. I mean, that's him. It's like,
it's true.
He watches so much military channel stuff about World War II. He's probably an expert at this point.
Yeah, amateur expert. I really think he is.
Yeah. So it's nice not having him around in the TV room to like allow you guys to watch your stuff.
Yeah, it has been good. Just we can move freely and do what we want.
Now he gets to watch that stuff with Grandpa.
Yes,
and he likes that stuff too. So it's like it works.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And he gets to go visit his sister.
That's right.
So he's been spending a lot of time with my Aunt Linda out there. And they've been enjoying and pestering each other. And the thing about the Diaz side of the family is they really rib on each other. Yeah. Like she will tell him off, he will tell her off, Grandpa will tell them both off. Right. It's a thing. It is a thing. And we were talking about that earlier about your dad. He would give everybody the business too. Right. And it's like, I miss that about men and people where you could sit there and literally make fun of each other and not take it personally.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, I deserve that one. Yeah. I am kind of an idiot. All right.
Susan, do you remember Dad's nickname for you? My nickname?
I don't know
what?
these.
I don't, Nancy. Tell me.
Susan Diaper Ann.
Diaper Ann.
And I'm Nancy Elizabeth.
Okay.
And when we were little, that always got us in tears. But now I chuckle about it a lot.
Why? Do you know why he called you that?
To get us.
Just to get you riled up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you imagine if he had boys?
Oh, my God. They would be called all sorts of lady names. And
they would be tough boys.
They would be thick-skinned, that's for sure. But I would have
to say, when he would say our nicknames, there was always a twinkle in his eye.
Oh, yeah.
They're all, yes.
He did it because he loved you. It was a term of endearment.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot.
Yeah.
I got lucky with my name.
What was it?
He was the one that started calling me JR.
And it stuck.
Yeah, it really did.
It was funny because it was when we met Stephen, when you met Stephen the first time.
Right.
And you were referring to me as JR.
Right.
And he had to look at you and was like, who are you talking about?
Right. Where is this?
Exactly. So you had to tell him that my family calls me JR. Shanna refuses to do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, she does not do it at all. And I was like, it's okay. It's like half the people I know me as JR. They're like, not me. You were Mark.
You were
and
Mark.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
From the
So
beginning. That's
Yeah.
who you were.
Well, I think he also wanted JR to have his own name.
yeah,
You know,
You're
and
right.
put his own
compare
stamp
with
on
his
it.
father.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You're right, Nancy. Yeah.
Well, it also made things a whole hell of a lot easier, to be
Well,
honest with you.
Yeah, it did.
Especially now as an adult. Like, Shanna has that problem when we go over to your house. She'll say Mark, and my dad will answer.
Right.
And then she's like, no, my Mark. And
Yes.
he's like, oh,
Yes.
oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
I was like, yes. So it has helped in some instances. So
That's true.
I'm truly appreciative for me.
Yeah.
None of my students call me that, but
Right.
granted, they don't call me Mark either. So
Okay, Sensei.
yeah, it's Sensei with the students in the dojo.
Uh-huh.
Outside of the dojo, it's whatever. So, but no, that's really cool. Sounds like you guys have had a great weekend. You still have a few more days left
We
with each
do.
other.
Yes.
Still got like what, 4 or 5 more days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, and then this weekend you guys are coming over to the house for book club and a
For
dinner.
book club and a dinner.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It will be.
And the Eagles play.
Yes. And the Chiefs.
They play on
Yes.
Monday. Yeah, my
Oh.
mom's a bandwagon jumper with the Chiefs.
What? What's
Yeah.
that mean, bandwagon?
That means you didn't like them beforehand, and then when they started getting good, you like
No.
Oh.
them.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
She's
Not
a
because
Patrick Mahomes fan.
That's the better way to say it. It was all about Patrick Mahomes.
He's her homie.
That's my boy.
Patrick Mahomie. Yeah. He's a thing.
He is a thing. He's a force of nature.
He is. And if you're a Chiefs fan, you love him. If you're not a Chiefs fan, you hate him. He's like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Like
yeah.
when he was on the Patriots,
Yeah.
and if you were a Patriots fan, you freaking loved him.
Right.
Mhm.
Everybody else hated him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I became a Tom Brady fan when he went to the Bucks. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I like you.
Now you like
Now you're
it,
okay. And he still won a Super Bowl, so
huh? Wow.
it all works. But let's move forward with our show. Let's move on to our top 5. Okay, moving on to our top 5 list. This week's top 5 is an interesting one. It's not about like a specific type of thing, but it's your favorite things about fall.
Boy,
So,
that was a mouthful.
I know. I could barely favorite. Talking about the South, the Southern came out in me.
Yeah.
Get down there, their favorites.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
So
All right, so
our top 5.
What's your top favorite
Favorite?
things about fall?
fall?
We'll start with you, Mom. What do you got?
Okay. What do I got? Outdoor fires in the
Oh,
pit.
damn, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I didn't think of that.
And all of the colors
Yeah,
with the leaves.
yeah,
The cooler weather, so you can wear sweaters.
yeah.
Hmm Hot chocolate
Hot drinks, yeah.
with cognac.
Cognac.
We haven't had ours yet.
No.
Nope. And pumpkin.
Pumpkin. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks like Steven just showed up. If you didn't hear
Steven's
that.
here.
Pumpkin. I hate pumpkin, by the way, but I'm glad somebody likes it.
Yeah.
So
You know.
there you
alright.
go. All right, Nancy, what about you? What do you got for your top 5?
Well, I would say that is soup time.
Soup time.
Yeah. Living in Phoenix again, you don't have anything hot during the summer, but soups, I really am ready to
Yeah.
start having soups. Another thing is the cooler weather where you can start walking in the middle of the day and
Yeah.
not, fry. So
That is true. That's something we typically take for granted. Like, you could leave your house virtually at any time and be fairly comfortable, even in the summer. Summer does get a little hot,
Mhm.
but like literally stuff melts on your sidewalk during the summer.
Yeah, when it gets 110 plus,
That's
it's just it's miserable.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like, that just does not sound fun.
And that means fall time, the doors and windows can start opening and our $500 electric bill
yeah,
can
it can start
going
taking,
down.
taking an ease on the electric bill.
So that is a real, I should have said that one first
No,
because
that's all right.
boy, that's tough.
And again, that's something we take for granted too.
Yeah.
Like when we run our AC, or at least I know for the dojo, when we run the AC constantly, it's not that much money.
Yeah.
It's like a couple $100, if that.
Yeah.
So like $500 to run your AC.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's,
and you have to do it. Like you can't not do it.
Yeah. So the doors and windows opening is a big welcome.
I bet.
And it's just nice to have that breeze going across.
Yeah, that cool desert air.
And then of course, getting a sweater on, feeling like you're cuddling up, more than just a t-shirt, shorts, and and flip flops.
Yep.
It's nice to kind of bundle up,
Yeah.
even though you don't have to bundle up that much.
No, I gotcha. I'm totally down with that. That makes a lot of sense. Again, I was really interested to hear yours because your fall and our fall are different.
Yes.
Like what you perceive as fall is just cooler weather.
Yeah.
And what you can do in cooler weather with us, we take that for granted because we have cooler weather sporadically throughout the year, so we know what it's about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've been in Phoenix for 26 years, 27, something like that.
Yeah.
But we moved from Tennessee, and in the fall, when we first moved there, the trees, the changing of the trees, that was always so exciting to see the colors and the beauty. But that was short-lived after the first year,
and
because then we had to rake them.
Yeah, then you're like, these damn tree leaves.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the trees. Get rid of them.
Yeah. The beauty went away quickly.
That's like us with snow.
Yeah.
It's like the first time you experience snow, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then the second time you're like, damn it, now I got to shovel this crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I totally get it. I love to see the color changes also. But you'll see when you come over on Sunday, we have a lot of trees in our neighborhood. And none of them are ours, but we're constantly raking leaves.
Oh, they all go to your yard.
Yes,
right?
it's like we have a magnet for tree leaves. And I am so sick and tired of raking
those
other
leaves
people's
are saying,
leaves.
Hey, it's a bare lot here.
Exactly.
Let's go over.
It gets to the point where you don't see grass, you just see leaves.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, this isn't even my problem, and I've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
oh my God.
Yeah, so I really like the color change also, and then till it's time to pull out the rake, and then you're like, God, my back and hands hurt from breaking up all these stupid leaves.
Yeah.
I hate leaves.
Yeah.
Hard work.
I know.
Character.
Those leaves are right up there with pumpkin, huh?
Oh. The only good pumpkin is a smash pumpkin. Not a pumpkin fan. I am a complete oddity in that aspect. My whole family loves pumpkins. Shanna loves pumpkins.
Well,
I can't stand them.
It's interesting because Susan and I are going to make a pumpkin apple bacon soup, and then also a pumpkin crinkles cookies.
Well, the bacon part sounds good.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice, but you know what? You will not get me to eat pumpkin pie. I just don't like it.
I don't like it.
I can't do it.
Thank you. I've got someone anti-pumpkin pie.
You've got, and the family. Somebody to support you. Way to go.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm not a loner anymore.
For you, JR.
Get some T-shirts.
Yeah, we hate pumpkin pie together.
Yeah.
I saw a funny video. I think I sent it to you. This little boy, he's probably like 2 or 3, sitting in his high chair at the table, and they were taking out the seeds of a pumpkin.
Right.
And they're pulling it out and dropping it. And at the time, he's laughing, like, hey, 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 hey. And then eventually he goes, and they dropped it down, and then he starts laughing again. Then they grab another big piece, and then you see his face change, and he's just like, and he almost throws up.
Because he's pulling out the pumpkin.
He's not even touching it.
Oh, he's not
He's
touching.
just watching it.
Yeah.
And it's like stringy and goopy, and and it's like hitting the ground.
And, definitely.
Yeah, the kid is just laughing, and you hear he's smiling, and he's like, and all of a sudden,
why am I laughing and almost throwing up?
I don't know what it is with me, but anytime someone either like falls down or gags, I laugh like a stupid idiot. Like, I laugh so hard over stupid stuff like that.
You know what, JR? When somebody falls, I don't know. I guess because of the startledness of it all, but the throwing up, I end up joining them. I can't handle.
I have a buddy. Shout out to Donovan Lucas, Sergeant Lucas. He's been on the show.
Right.
We would come in the dojo and we'd work out a couple of times, and I'd have a TV, so I just put on the show Jackass. So it's like, oh, we'll just have some background noise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he had a weak stomach. And I think he's told the story on the show. Well, there was a scene where someone's throwing up, and he turned and looked, and he did the and I was like, "You all right, dude?" He goes, he's like, I can't watch that." I was like, I'm sorry, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off. And he goes, it's okay. He's like, I just have a really weak stomach. And there's been he was a 26-year highway patrol vet. He just retired a couple of years ago, or about a year ago. It's been recent. He's told us, I won't get into it because I think he told it on the air too. We'll just have him back on. He'll tell it. He told a couple of stories about there's been some incidences he's pulled up to that he's like, I can't do it because he'll almost throw up.
Yeah.
Kind of weakens the authority a little bit.
And one of it dealt with an old man and a bowel problem.
Okay. That's enough.
Yeah. He said he's like, I couldn't get within 10 feet of him.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And then finally someone else showed up, and he's like, take over. I got to get out of here.
This is yours. I got to do paperwork.
Yeah, pretty much. But good top 5 list, mine. I'll make it real quick. I've got football. Football's always in the fall.
That's good.
Love football.
Oh,
hoodies.
Nice. Hoodies.
Yeah, or sweaters. Cold weather. I like the cold weather. I like the color changes. And Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's always in the fall.
That's true. I totally forgot.
That's like my favorite holiday.
Yes,
so.
it is. Yes,
it's Thanksgiving and 4th of July for me.
There you go.
Like, I'll go all out for those.
They're both kind of patriotic in a way.
Yeah, they are. I don't mind Christmas, but I'm not like, it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
You kind of banned Christmas songs.
Yeah, no, that was
house until after
Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not one of these like Maya. I guarantee, and she can quote me on this because I'm gonna make her listen to the episode. She probably has her Christmas decorations up now, right now.
Well, Mark, she's getting the best deals in the stores because they start.
Well, she already hands them, like she keeps them. I guarantee she has her tree up tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
So, yeah. But, Stephen, how are you, sir?
Hey.
Don't worry, we're recording. Stephen we showed up late. He had stuff to do, but now he's back. You're more than welcome to hop in with us if you want to, but, so I'm not a big Christmas fan. We had a whole rant about Christmas last year, the two of us, Stephen and I. So, remember that? Yeah, and he's like, I hope we don't get canceled. So, because my biggest thing is I don't like the idea with Christmas about just waiting one day to give something to somebody. It's like, don't have this one day to be like, hey, I appreciate you. I like you.
Right.
Here's this. I was thinking about you. Here's this.
Well, it's kind of the same way with Mother's Day.
Exactly.
And Father's Day.
Any holiday that could initially have some sort of gift exchange.
Right.
It's like, if you care about somebody, don't wait for a day to do it. Just do it. And
just do it.
Like, hey, I saw this and I was thinking about you. Here you go.
Right.
You know, I think that has kind of changed for us as we gotten older and our children have become adults, because we don't give presents on Christmas Day, either Gilad, Johnny, and I.
Yeah.
But we'll decorate. I like the lights and the decorations. It's just like, wow, it's really pretty. This, red, green, and gold, silver,
and it's festive,
and it's festive, and
makes you happy.
You know what? It makes you happy for that period of time, and then you can put it away and not.
Gotta have a decoration.
And Shanna really taught me this. It's like she values experiences more than gifts.
Right.
So our Christmas now typically is we go on vacation. That's our gift to us. Is we want to build memories together, because you will remember those memories more so than the objects that were given to you.
Well, and you know what, Mark? This is good that you guys are doing it at this age.
Yeah.
Because as we get older, you might not be able to for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it is good that you're doing that.
This year we're not not going to be able to go out of town for mainly because of me, because I'm going to get my shoulder fixed. But we have decided that we're going to give one. And we're going to do a Secret Santa between me, Shanna, Jamin, Maya, Elliot, my mom, and my dad. So we're going to put all our names in a hat. We're going to draw our name, and whoever we draw, we're going to buy one gift for them, and we're going to keep it under $1 amount.
Wow. Challenges on.
Yeah. So it forces you to think about what would they... like, what would be meaningful to them? Like, not a want or a need, but like, hey, I got this because I know you like it and I want to contribute to that. Or I was thinking of you when I saw this, stuff like that, making it a little bit more meaningful, as opposed to like, well, here's some socks and underwear, like, and
the go-tos.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's time for a new toothbrush. Like, here's a toothbrush. Stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to do one gift, keep it under $1 amount. But yeah, Shanna really instilled, especially in me and the kids, the value of memories and experiences as opposed to stuff. Because Shanna, if you've ever listened to the show, you know that she lost her mom at a very young age. And she doesn't really remember anything her mom bought for her. She knows she got gifts and all that stuff, but there's nothing that sticks out in her mind that's like, man, this reminds me of my mom. Wow. No, she remembers the trips they went on, the places they went to, the time they spent together, stuff like that. That's what she remembers, not my mom bought me these pair of shoes. Yeah. Even though obviously her mother did buy her gifts and stuff like that, but she doesn't remember any of those. So when she lost her mom, she said that she was going to make a valiant effort to have experiences as opposed to presents. Granted, yeah, we bought the kids presents and all that stuff, but we tried to do stuff with them. In fact, Maya and I were harassing her because if Shanna buys you a gift, it's usually an experience that she does with you. And we always tease her about that. Like
what?
Like, oh, Maya, we're going to buy you a facial for, your birthday, but it's a couple's facial, and I'm going to go with you. Or like, Mark, I bought you a massage for your birthday. It's a couple's massage. And
I like that.
So we always harass her about like, are you going to have an experience for just us, or is it for the both of us?
Yeah.
So Maya and I like to harass her about that. Be like, oh, what are you going to buy that we can do together?
Yeah. What are you going to buy for us?
Yeah. So, but that's a fun other topic, but good things about fall. I think those are awesome. I really liked hearing yours about like opening the doors and windows and like being able to go out on a walk at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right.
Feeling like you're going to melt in the process.
Yeah, walking in the mall is quite dangerous. Because you come out with more bags than you came in.
Yeah, because you want to spend more time in the mall because you're like, God, I can't leave now. It's 1 o'clock. Dude, I don't know if we can make it to the car in time. So, but moving on forward.
You have reached the end of this part of our interview. Want to support the show? Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more episodes, and snag your favorite gear from the True Motion merch shop. From all of us at True Talks, thank you for your support, and kick it with us next time.
True motion style into sensation. Gear up now before cold's domination. Feeling frosty, don't freeze in your stance. Slip on our sweaters, give winter no chance. Hoodies to supplements, cold's got no shot. Our merch keeps you moving, your karate hot. Stay sharp, stay cool, like a roundhouse kick. In true motion, gear you're warm and slick. Break ice, break boards, make an impression. Our holiday merch is your new obsession. True motion's got your back, so don't delay. Shop now online, sweep the chill away. Stay sharp, stay cool, like a roundhouse kick. In true motion, gear you're warm and slick. Chill moves, cool vibes, true motion's the way. Gear up for winter by today.